Anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Hi, Stuart.
Hi.
Can you discuss how by mastering this craft that you can manifest a life without fear?
Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time, but I talk about this a lot. Look, fear is a deep emotion, that something that's buried most of the time deep inside us. And again, it gets back to the craft of inner work. If you build a chakra system that is strong enough, understand, you begin to have the power inside you to transform fear into chi. You begin to have the power through the proper use of the will to draw the fear inside you into the lower chakra, into the chakra below the navel, and transform it into chi. But it takes the development of a system inside that is strong enough to do this, because usually fear dominates the life of most people. And fear brings about revenge, anger, insecurity, depression, this feeling in ourselves that we can never accomplish anything in life. We're afraid to step into the unknown. All of this is a byproduct of fear. But fear isn't necessarily a negative thing. I mean, we have to have some fear inside us, because fear sharpens our senses. It makes us realize that we have to be more conscious about the way we act in certain situations that are intimidating and threatening. We have to function in a better way, in a stronger way. I mean, fear, I always used to compare it, the metaphor of a buoy, a bell, a light and a buoy, telling a ship that there are rocks and reefs there, so that they should go around it. Fear does that for us when it's used consciously. And we're strong enough to recognize the healthy aspect of fear. But the problem is the mind gets involved with fear. And the mind builds this little kernel of warning into a Frankenstein that begins to take over our consciousness and our being. And it paralyzes us. So the only way I've found in my life, maybe there are other ways, I don't know, of dealing with that is to develop a chakra system inside that's strong enough to do it. Where I have the inner strength that when I begin to feel that fear in myself, which doesn't really happen very often anymore, I can draw that fear into the navel chakra. I can transform it into chi. I can transform the chi into grounding and power that allows me to open the heart, not to be afraid to open the heart. And when the heart is open, fear will dissolve. It'll fall away. So the inner work, a byproduct of the inner work is what I'm talking about. How to master fear. And instead of allowing fear to dominate us and keep us from ever really accomplishing what we have to accomplish in this world. So, I mean, I don't know how else to explain this, and I do it all the time. I tell people this, and I'm only telling you this because I've seen it work in my own life. I see it work now, I mean, I realize that I have to start, generating some business and money and this and that, and all that bullshit you got to do to live and satisfy Caesar in this world. And all of a sudden, this whole world is opening up to me. A whole world, and, a world that I used to enter with trepidation when I was younger, and now it's just opening, and it's magical and it's wonderful. This incredible treasure hunt, for wonderful objects. I mean, it's amazing how this works. And I think that we all have to master our inner selves. And a byproduct of doing that is we overcome fear. We overcome fear, we overcome resentment, we overcome the lack of forgiveness, we overcome the need to revenge ourselves. We overcome all of these kind of psychological and emotional illnesses that really keep people living in a prison. And we have the freedom to do what? To open our hearts, to love unconditionally. We're not afraid to trust life. And the whole secret in this is learning to trust life. Otherwise, we live in caves, we live in shadows, we hide out, and we don't do it. We get up, we go to work, but internally, we're living in caves. We're hiding out. I mean, when I was younger, I once got a job working, a temporary job working in an office, and it was a very big company. And I used to do all this kind of clerical work. I was 20 years old. And I remember looking at the people there earning pretty decent salaries, having secure positions. And it's like they crawled back into the womb. There was nothing in them that really wanted to overcome that incredibly paralyzing need for security. And I realized even before I met Rudy that the only real security I can have in life is the connection with God. And that connection is not going to take place until I master my inner self. I knew this before I met my teacher. And when I met him, it was the first person who showed me how to do it. How I can live my life, not being intimidated by life. Being able to trust life, that it's there to show me what I need to do to grow as a human being. And it just works. I don't know how it works. It just works. But one has to master their inner self so that this capacity takes place inside to transform all of these paralyzing little creatures that live inside us into joy, into love, into fearlessness, to forgiveness, the exact opposite of what these things do to us. But it takes our power, our will, our capacity to develop an inner life to do this. And by doing this, we open and we become servants of God, I mean, it's no longer some mystical thing. It's a very practical thing. We have gotten rid of all the blocks that keep God from flowing, the energy of God or spirit or whatever you want to call it, from flowing through us and allowing us to live our lives in a conscious way. That's our job. You understand? That really is the job of a human being. And most people don't want to hear that. They think it's coming to them. They think they know better. They think this, they think that. And they take all of these stupid thoughts to the grave. And most people are deeply unhappy inside because they've never been able to master themselves. And really, honestly, that's what all this meditation is about. I keep saying it over and over and over again. I feel like a broken record, That's what it's about. It's not about religion. It's not about theology. It's not, somebody asked me the question, well, how come we call the sound of creative energy Om? They asked me this question yesterday. I said, because it's a word. I don't know. We need words to identify things. Why do we call God God? How do you define God? The same way you can't define Om. You can't define transcendental energy. But we as human beings need words in order to identify things. And it's true, But the source of creative energy transcends words. It gives birth to words so that they can be a pathway to that source of creative energy. And our work is truly to make room for God to flow through us, to become a child of God. That is our work. And when people avoid that work, whether it's what I teach or somebody else, I don't care who teaches it, this kind of thing. And I don't mean Rudy's work, I mean whatever spiritual path people are on. The whole essence of it is for people to get mastery of themselves, grounded, hearts open, minds quiet. And so they become children of God. They allow the energy of spirit to flow through them and guide their life. The only obstruction to that is each and every one of us. We are the obstruction. And until we accept the fact that we have to do that kind of work on ourselves, we will always be the obstruction. And I don't care how bright people are and how much they know about the cosmos and metaphysics and et cetera, it doesn't amount to anything. It's all in their heads. The reality is living experience, being able to have the strength inside to transform ourselves so that we become a child of God, a living example of what spiritual energy does in this world. And if somebody would show me an easy way to do this, I would be the first one to listen. Frankly, there is no easy way to do this. You just have to do it. That's it. Don't complain about it. Just do it, Make it happen by doing the inner work. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
It's 2:00.
Stuart?
Yes, dear.
Sometimes I can feel myself lucky. It's happened good things for my sons, but I can't feel happiness. I just feel something in my chest. It takes time to, I don't know, somehow I'm scared to be happy or something. I don't know.
Just have patience. It's coming. Have patience.
Okay.
Just think. Look, I said this to you before. I remember you the first day I saw you in class. You couldn't sit in one place. Now you're sitting in a car doing the meditation, centered, balanced. It's going to come.
Okay.
Have patience with yourself. I think you're doing just great, frankly. So have patience. It'll come. It takes time for these things to truly begin to manifest inside us. And one of the best secrets in how you're doing today is remember yourself 5 months ago. You couldn't sit in one place. You were, I can't sit. You kept telling, I can't sit. I kept saying, have patience. You will learn how to sit. And now you're sitting. So the next step will come. Just have patience. You're a good person. You're a kind person. You love your children. You love your family. The rest will come. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, I don't see you. Do you have an idea why so many people are not aware of an inner life? Just wondering.
Paul, to be honest with you, I gave up thinking about that 30 years ago. And I made a decision that I can't worry about where people are at in their evolution. I can only worry about the people that come, that are willing to do the work, that are willing to work on themselves. And hopefully they will grow up to the point where they can share this with other people. And then people can touch people. But I gave up thinking about that years ago. Yeah, sometimes it used to bother me. Why? I used to think, my God, this is miraculous, what I learned from Rudy. And what, and people used, and they come, they go, they disappear. I don't see them for a month, so I take their names off the list. I mean, it's just what people are ready for. And then you have the other answer to this. There's reincarnation, which I firmly believe in, that nobody can master in one lifetime. And people have, the universe gives us, God, whatever, thousands of lifetimes to finally evolve to a point where they're ready to do sincere inner work. And that really took a huge burden off of me to recognize that this is something real and that people are in a state of evolution. The soul of the universe is in a state of evolution. And every human soul in that soul of the universe is evolving in their own time. And my job is to respect that and not to worry about it, because it will be taken care of in time. And when you see time that way, it becomes a very good friend. It's no longer intimidating or threatening, or it really takes care of everybody, but people in their own time, when they're ready. I mean, look how many people used to come to that retreat I used to do in Brussels, in Belgium. And, I mean, they were ready for that. I don't see any. One of them got in touch with me, but never showed up for class. And it doesn't in any way bother me. It's what people are ready for. It's what they're ready for. And those of you that come here are ready for this. And it is with all gratitude and with love and unconditional love that I am willing to work my ass off, frankly, for people that are ready to learn the kind of teachings that come through me. The ones that aren't here, I can't do anything about. I have that even with my own daughter, who, when I first came to stay with her, I gave her a time. And I must say she's doing fantastic. It's extraordinary how well she's doing. But I thought, oh, it's going to be through meditation. Then I realized, that it's not going to be through, it's through find out what she needs, what level she's on in her life, and then nurture that. And I found it out, and now she's doing fantastic. It's just really extraordinary how well she's doing. And the meditation will come because so Daddy can, when are we going to meditate? I said, when you're ready. So I think it's respecting life. It's respecting the evolution of life. It's respecting people's karma, what they have to work out in this lifetime. And it's not to ever sit in judgment of people and think that we know better. We don't. Everybody is uniquely on their own path. And when I finally realized that, and it became real in my life, it just changed me. I was no longer, well, why can't they do Kundalini? So I don't know, Paul, but I do understand that each person is exactly where they are and where they're supposed to be. And each person makes of their life exactly what they want to make of their life. Because if this becomes a real practice for somebody, they will break down the door to get in here. I mean, there will be no keeping them away from attending as many classes as they can possibly attend if this thing becomes real for somebody. So I just accept and work for the people that come, because those are the ones that are showing me that they're using what craft I have learned to develop their own inner life. And I think that to me is very important. I mean, last night I had a meditation. There were 40 people in the meditation. I mean, my God, it's going to be a freaking marathon. 40 people came to the meditation. This is in the Americas, you know? I said, whoa. And I suspect it's going to continue to grow. And the ones that fall away, that go, I respect that. I can't be the teacher for everybody. I can only work with those people who come and show me that they truly want to work on themselves. Then, my God, they have me 1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, and if there are no more questions, again, thank you, bless you all. There'll be a meditation on Thursday, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. If you know people that want to come, they're very welcome. And God bless you all. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.